Good morning and welcome. Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquint, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group, and our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com, and it is Thursday. It's my last day here on the Front Range. We'll be heading back to the Valley of the Sun, and I'm anticipating it's probably going to be hot, but that's all right. The golf courses will hopefully empty out, and I'll get to play golf for a whole lot less. But it's been a great trip. A lot of great things happening up here at the radio station, and we're pretty excited. We're pretty excited about the future, and everyone that's listening. I know our stream is down right now. They are working. It's not our problem. It's funny that this seems to happen from time to time. Selectively, all of a sudden, is it down? Oh, we didn't. Oh, well. Oh, wait. We're gonna call the data center, and okay. But we'll get it back up. It'll be back up. But you know what?
It wasn't our fault, though.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely not. And again, I think it's deliberate, but that's just my personal opinion. But we're ready. We're prepared.
Progress is when it's somebody else's fault.
Right. But we have a backup to the backup. So, back in the day, we would be off the air in Phoenix right now. But we're not because, we're prepared. So, but for those of you in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Shreveport, Louisiana, Salt Lake City, and everywhere around the globe, I apologize. Of course, you're not going to be able to hear that I'm apologizing, but nonetheless, not our fault. But hopefully, it'll be back up as soon as possible.
That's why we have a podcast.
That's right. You can just podcast it. So, a lot of things happening. Wow. This is Wall Street is rallying, but I'm going to tell you right now, this is it's been down 8 straight weeks in a row. We haven't done this since 1932. Let's make up a story about how the Fed may stop hiking rates sooner than later and get a little rally. Sell it. That's all I'm telling you. Sell it. But we had a bunch more data out today. We're going to get to all of that. We've got crude oil surging again today as China. We're all eyes on China as they're reopening. Crude oil up almost another $4 here, back to $115 a barrel. Gas prices. Here's the good news for gas. Ready? I'm going to give it to you. Gas prices may go down 10 or 15 cents after this weekend, and you may get 3 or 4 weeks of that. Maybe. That's the best case scenario. The next scenario is gas prices stop rising for the next 3 or 4 weeks. Unfortunately, the real story is we're going to pay more for gas before we get into August. July and August, get ready for higher prices once again. But don't worry, right, Jason, because inflation, it's going to be peaking any day now.
I think higher prices is at a faster rate is just, I think that's with us for maybe years, Joe.
Well, look at this. Bank of America, new minimum wage, $22 an hour. Bank of America says, by the way, we're on our way to $25 an hour. Apple came out, said, hey, you know what? We got to pay our employees more. And they said everywhere, whether it's their corporate employees or their employees in the retail stores, they've got to pay them more money. And again, this is a vicious cycle that is happening right now, and we're seeing rising prices with this slowing economy. We had the revision to first quarter GDP came in. I think it was negative 1.4, was revised even lower, down 1.5%. So first quarter GDP negative Now remember, they categorize a recession as 2 negative quarters in a row. Right now, they're anticipating second quarter GDP at about 1% in the positive direction. So maybe we don't get the technical recession until, some people are saying maybe 2023 or late 2024, or I'm sorry, late 2022, but we'll see. The jobless claims, over 200,000, not surprised. I think they're surprised. I'm not surprised. But we had home data out today that we're going to get to. We had some records, Jason, in the home data that even I was shocked when I read it this morning as far as inventory of homes. Now, I know, there's no homes out there, right? This is we've been told this and beaten it into our heads. I actually, when I saw this, I got on the phone. I know people. I know home builders. That's the great thing about what I do. Business owners love buying gold because they get it. They see it. They're the ones, a lot of them, they see it on the front lines. They can tell by, hey, how many people are coming in and out of my doors. So I asked that my home builder friends, hey, how's it going out there? Things are slowing. How bad is it? Well, I'm going to tell you when we get back. Patriot Radio News Hour. Don't touch that dial. 800-951-0592. Joe and Jason here this morning. By the way, I knew I forgot something. We're going to be closed on Monday for Memorial Day. Both Phoenix, the Patriot office in Phoenix, the radio station and the Patriot office here in Colorado will be closed for Memorial Day. So just put that in your calendars. We'll have tapes running and we'll be back at it again on Tuesday.
Joe's actually sitting here watching me get Monday ready. That's what I'm doing.
Is that what you're doing? I was like, well, you're doing something over there.
I'm taking advantage of multitasking here.
So, a lot of data out today. And these are one of those days where, like I said, it's early in the day. Who knows? Wall Street could end up being down 1,000 points. But Wall Street's up about 400 points right now. And again, they've had a miserable 8 weeks. And this ridiculousness about the Atlanta Fed president, a non-voting member, saying, oh, well, we may pause. His words were a pause in September to evaluate the economy. And then the Fed minutes came out yesterday, and really the Fed minutes did not indicate that the Fed minutes were still tough talk. Now, granted, that was from a few weeks ago. So to be fair, at least in the Fed minutes, they're tough talking. A bunch of banks came out today and said, if you actually believe the narrative that the Fed is almost done raising rates, they said go long every bond and every commodity. Because basically what they're saying is, inflation is going to be holy hell if that ends up happening. And again, that's not what's going to happen. The Fed is going to raise rates until we're in a depression. And then, of course, when they stop, it's going to be the double depression, as Jason likes to call it, because it's going to be a depression with inflation that we've never, ever seen before. And remember, the bubble's just so much bigger. It's going to be much more painful. But let's talk about the data. So we had, remember new home sales? Right, the other day, was it 2 days ago? New home sales down 16.6% month over month. That I can understand like year over year. No, month over month. Today we got existing homes. Now, to give perspective, the market, the housing market, is about 6 to 6.5 million homes total, right? That's existing and new homes total. New homes are the small part of that number. Like, existing home sales, well, actually, they're going to be below this number now, but they've been about 6 million, give or take. Today, they came out and said that the market was surprised. They're always saying they're surprised. Surprise! That pending home sales, so these are contracts, right? These are, hey, I signed the contract to buy this home. Now, I'm not going to close on it yet, right? I'm going to close on it, you close, 30, 60 days later. Dropped in April. Again, April numbers. The 3.9% month-on-month decline was double what they had expected. The sixth straight monthly decline, to give a little perspective, that's the longest since 2018. Pending home sales are now down just under 12% year over year. And outside of the great financial crisis, now pay attention here, outside of the great financial crisis, and if you throw out the first 2 months of the COVID lockdown, this was the worst results ever. They said that the home, now listen, here's the spin from the realtors. Ready? Pending contracts are telling, they said, as they better reflect the timelier impact of higher mortgage rates than do closings. Home prices, in the meantime, appear in no danger of any meaningful decline. So, pay no attention to the fact that no one's buying any. There's no danger here. Let me tell you right now. I had a yellow light flashing on housing. It's now red. Let me tell you why. So inside of the data, the unsold inventory of new homes, which spiked, added another 444,000 unsold homes to the mix. And all of a sudden, both the new and existing home sales, the month-over-month leap in inventory, and the year-over-year leap in inventory were the largest leaps ever recorded. Let me say it again. And by the way, there's no take this out, take that. No. I don't care about the financial crisis. I don't care about COVID even. Both new and existing homes, the month-to-month increase in unsold inventory hit a all-time record high. When? Right now, April 2022. All-time record high growth in unsold homes. Now, I know. I get it. I know. I'm not that smart. But what happens, Jason, when all of a sudden you have a lot more of something that nobody wants to buy?
Doesn't go well. You have too much supply. It means the demand drops to nothing.
Right. Doesn't that mean the price falls?
Drops down, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Everybody knows. What's our problem with food? What's our problem with oil? What's our problem with gas? What's our problem with natural gas? The problem is there's no inventory and there's big demand.
Well, even if housing prices drop a little bit and we continue with the high inflation, that's a crash. I keep saying this. We haven't had a situation like this with massive inflation. Usually the inflation destroys the demand and prices only go up with the inflation. We have inflation that's not stopping. Let's just say housing prices go down 10% and we keep a 20% inflation, Joe. Think of how bad that is.
Well, and again, this is just, I'm just giving you the facts. You can decide. I mean, this could be nothing, right? So what if there's all of a sudden, think about this, new homes? All of a sudden we got almost a year's supply of new homes. Now, existing homes, which there's been no supply, all of a sudden sets the all-time record for biggest increase of unsold inventory ever.
Sounds like BlackRock went from being a buyer to a seller.
Remember the housing crash? How could we have a bigger jump month over month than when the housing? Remember when people were jingle mail? Remember jingle mail?
People just walking out,
and you're telling me no, this jump is worse. Yeah, but don't worry. Wait, what did they say? I want to read it to you again because I don't want to. Oh, I deleted it already. Don't worry. There's no meaningful decline in prices. Yeah, okay, sure.
But Joe, I like to stress the COVID crash that everyone seems to want to put in their. Don't worry, that didn't happen. Why do I get the feeling that with all that money printing in 2020 and the huge emergency, don't let emergency go away. Why do I feel like, the big companies, the BlackRocks, just got a lot of more money and they just bought ahead of everybody, and now they're selling at the top, and everybody else is going to be fleeced, Joe. Well, how much money do you think these big companies buying in 2020, even 2019, 2021 early, how much money do you think they're making selling at the top before all this is happening? Because those numbers don't switch that fast, Joe, and those big players are exiting.
Yeah, well, I think big players have just stopped buying.
Exactly.
Period.
Exactly. Yep.
And again, remember with people with money, if they feel like, hey, I think I can get this cheaper in 6 months, they'll wait.
That's right.
They'll wait. Let me give you some more. Listen, these are just the numbers. This isn't doom and gloom. This is, get ready, I'm telling you what's coming. A total of 50,759 U.S. properties started the foreclosure process in Q1 of 2022. So think about this. This is January, February, March. Boy, wait till you see what April and May and June do. But just so you know, that's up 67% from the fourth quarter. Oh, and by the way, I know this is a small number. This is kind of like inflation in reverse. By the way, that's 188% higher than a year ago. Now, granted, I want to I'm being fair here. They were really low a year ago. But I pointed out, these aren't foreclosures are up 5%. Or foreclosures are up 10%. No, foreclosures are up almost 200%. By the way, foreclosure capital of the United States right now, that's kind of funny. Chicago. So where my son lives, they have the biggest problem. Cleveland, they're right behind. Cleveland, the rate is 1 in every 500 homes. Uh-oh. Starting to pick up. Uh-oh. But, take it with what you want. How about this out of Forbes? Forbes magazine. 78% of Americans say they are pulling back from the housing market. So let me get this right. Let's come on, get closer. Let's really think. What possibly is going to happen here?
Oh, it sounds like you're bringing your inner Biden in
I'm
there.
going Joe Biden. I'm whispering. What could happen? Let's see. We got record increases of unsold homes, both new and used. We have sales falling and almost record declines. Now, new homes, it's a record decline. Existing homes outside of COVID and the financial crisis, it's a record. Outside of those two other events, which, let's face it, horrible. And now I'm saying, hey, 80% of Americans are like, yeah, nah, I'm not ready. I'm not interested in buying a house right now. What do you think is going to happen? Do you not get it? Let me use Jason's words again. Double depression. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break.
And the Rockets, they're back. My God, be darned.
800-951-0592. Whoopsie.
It's the best ever.
So I'm just gonna throw out a couple of headlines because I've got to. We have a huge problem brewing. I'm going to get to it in a minute, but first, because this is too good. Arguably, no country on earth has benefited more from the global economy than China. Now, first of all, duh. Remember NAFTA and GATT? Two of the worst pieces of legislation in the history. You know how bad it was? They even had union bosses trying to tell, like, the automotive workers, it's like, this is a great deal for America! America! So, obviously we know that. That's not a big statement, right? And by the way, this is Bilkin, who's, the Biden administration here. This is the part that really gets good, though. The lack of reciprocity in the U.S.-China relationship, including market access, is unacceptable and unsustainable. We're not going to stand for it. Hello? McFly, are you there? They're communist China. They're not our friends. They never were our friends. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure, Jason, they couldn't believe how stupid we really were. But you can thank Jamie Dimon and the bankers, because you know what it was all about? You know why we gave it all away? You know why we now have shortages? We can't put baby formula on the shelf. No, we got to get baby formula from Europe because we can't do it anymore. Because we gave it all away. Why? So Jamie Dimon could give the Chinese a credit card. And guess what? Now they're upset but they won't really let us in the way we want. We want to turn China into America. We really want to blow up, but they won't let us. They won't let us in.
I think the bankers want to turn America into China. That's what they want. In China, in the bankers, a match made in Hades, I guess you could say. I mean, China didn't really need a central bank, but I think to compete and really drown out the competition, I think they understood, they really like the way we govern because we're going to do the same things they're trying to do, and they just under the flag of freedom.
Yes.
We can do it under force.
Yeah, China's just, think about it. Shanghai still, it's reopened, but come on. They put 500 million people under lockdown with if you want to be dead, or never seen from again, go ahead and go outside. See what happens.
I still remember, back during the housing crash. I remember The Big Short, the movie The Big Short, and Brad Pitt, he was the guy that was all worried about the world's condition and everything, and he was wearing a mask when he went to the airport, and he's watching all the Chinese people at the airport wearing masks way back in 2007. Remember that, Joe? Who was wearing masks first? And that's where, we're just doing what China does, right? Lockdowns? Wait till you see what happens next, right?
Right. And so, sorry, I'm distracted here. I got all kinds of stuff flying in, but this, again, the idiocracy of our government. And Jason and I have said, listen, I'm telling you what the solution is. Get rid of the central bank and get government under control. Chop it. I'm talking chopping it down. Go George Washington on the cherry tree.
Andrew Jackson got elected. He fired 10%. Right?
That's not enough. That's what I'm saying.
That'd be a good start, though.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere.
What is the joke about the lawyers going over in the bus, all over the cliff? What do you call that? A good start?
A good start, man. Bus full of lawyers right over the cliff. That's a good start. Right? No offense, lawyers.
Federal government over the bus over the cliff. Good start.
This is all of what is coming. There's been self-inflicted gunshot wounds in the name, and probably a bad analogy today, but in the name of trying to save us. They're not trying to save us. It's not even about us. They don't even care. It's all fake. You think Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer cares about you? Real AOC? They don't care. Ted Cruz? You think Ted Cruz cares about you? Please.
Those people, man, they get into Washington, D.C., and they have masters. Hey, if you want to move up in the pecking order, you do what you're told. They care about what the people ahead of them are commanding them to do. They all have a pecking order.
Yeah, I know we got a little off track, but it had to be done. Something else. So think about this. So here we go. Housing's booming. Everything's great. People feel wealthy. The economy's awesome. Then, here comes inflation. And all of a sudden, you're starting to hear about layoffs. And you're starting to hear about margin pressure. And you're starting to hear about sales declines. And all of a sudden, housing inventory starts skyrocketing. Remember during the housing crash, they called it the boomeranging effect. That was when your adult kids came back home to live with you. You remember? I know a lot of you are like, what do you mean came back? They're still here. I can't get them out. Well, it's back. It's back. 40% of parents now have adult children moving back in with them as the rents and home prices. Well, what did that one guy say? The rent's too damn high. A new survey said that parents now have 4 in 10 parents have adult children living with them. 25% of parents said an adult child has temporarily lived with them and has since moved out only to come back. Uh-oh. The boomeranger. And again, this is another sign. Don't worry. What could possibly go wrong? Prices on homes are going to skyrocket forever, right up until they don't. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break. Survey of 100 parents. Top reasons why your adult children have moved back home.
It's funny, Joe. You think of, college kids coming back home, or kids maybe in their early 20s because things didn't work out right. I've been seeing kids that are in their 40s, their 50s, and in their 60s going back home.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I want to be clear on this. We're not talking about, the 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. No. I'm talking about these are the 30-somethings, right? And plus, 1/3 can't afford the rent. Can't do it. By the way, rent's not done. But here's the sad part: rent prices aren't going to peak until like August.
Yeah, $2,000 or more.
Yeah, not going to peak till August. Now, this one I kind of view this as the same as the first one. 26% needing financial support. Well, see, isn't that the same as, hey, they can't afford it? Right. I mean, I'm just doing some quick math. That's like almost 60%. By the way, the other 17%, this was interesting, lost their job. I got a bad feeling that number is going to continue to rise. Now, on the other side, when they asked the adult children, 33% are not yet financially independent, and they're trying to save money to purchase a home. 28% of them said because they lost their job. 13% said, hey, I just have too much debt. And 12% of the adult children moving back home, unexpected cost, like medical bills. So there you have it. And again, this turned into like a whole housing show. But again, these are the indicators. Now, I don't know. I guess that home prices could keep going up. But, Jason, based on the data, sure looks like this market is changing and changing really quickly. Remember what we always said. How did you go bankrupt? Well, it was really gradual at first. Remember today, pending home sales, 6 straight monthly decline, right? See, it was gradual at first. At first, it was just a little bit. All of a sudden, now we're down 12% year over year. And guess what? By next month, that number, who knows? It could be 15 or 20%.
I was renting in Longmont before I bought my house in 2020, and it was a house. I was renting a house. It was a 2,000 square foot house, a decent place, $1,950. That was the rent for a house in Longmont, which it's not a cheap place, but it's not super expensive. Same area, Joe. Right now, same size house. I'm looking almost $3,000 rent. Yeah. $2,900.
Yeah. I mean, you're sitting there. You're going that rent's up 50%. 50%.
A year and a half.
50%. 800-951-0592. This is the lead pipe lock of the week. And listen, I'm not trying to be mean. It's just there's not a lot of product out there. And gold, it's not like silver yet, but it's starting to get that way. But I've got 75 $10 Liberties. So these are the half ounce, 1866 to 1907. They're like over $1,100. I got them on sale today, $1,075 at 800-951-0592. And I will tell you that the housing crash, that was the catalyst for gold. Gold before housing fell apart was like $400 or $500. The housing crash, because you remember, housing started crashing like 2005. The financial crisis didn't hit till 2007. But gold went from there to 1900, pretty much to where it is today, right? I mean, boom. I think this is what we're going to see again. The problem is now instead of it going from 500 to 1900, it's going to go from 1900 to 5000. I mean, I'm telling you, this is the biggest. And why would it? This is the biggest bubble yet. This is so much bigger. Think about it in like Phoenix, and I know, oh no, this place is booming. That's not going to happen here. Listen, by the way, there's no water, but neither here nor there. Home prices are way higher now than they were when it collapsed the last time, and it is going to be. And again, already look at foreclosures up 188%, and now the boomerang, the adult kids are all coming back again.
Joe, I don't think wages are going up like they're saying, because let's just say you're a single guy. Say you're earning about, I don't know, $38,000. I talked to Joe about this, we don't talk about tax brackets that much, but with the inflation, you're a middle wage or low wage guy, and you're getting boosted because they need to keep you. You go from $39,000 a year to $41,000. And the first thing the government does is takes $3,700 from you, and 10% more everything over $40,525. It says your wages are up, Joe, but the government took it all. How many people are on the edge of that tax bracket? That's not a wage increase, Joe. That is stale. That is stagflation, right?
Yeah. Well, and again, I don't know. I used to think $30 an hour. That's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. $10 Liberties, 1,075 at 800-951-0592. Jason and I are right back. Final segment for this show. 800-951-0592. Gold's flat today. Yesterday we had some profit taking yesterday, but 1845. The Dow's up 450 points. I don't know where it's going to end, but all the stories I gave to you today, that was all just today. But again, and I get it, right? They're like, see, the Fed can't go Jason and I agree. The Fed can't go very long. I think by October it's all over.
I think that's a good.
There will be no more rate hikes after October. The problem is what the market wants, right? Go back to zero and bring back quantitative easing. How high do you want gas to be? You want gas to be $20, right? Do you want? I don't know. You want a new car? New cars. They're already like $100,000. If you get one with the bells and the whistles. I know the new Escalade, the high-end Escalade, they want over $150,000 for that thing. Well, maybe they can go to $250,000. Right? Your Big Mac meal, $20, right?
People that can afford it versus the people that can is separating every single day. Every single day, the haves and the have-nots are being determined, Joe.
By the way, this was just another headline here. I know this crazy right-wing publication called Bloomberg. Consumers face summer of hell as power bill cost set to jump, and really jump's not the right word, skyrocket. Already, I'm warning you right now, power bills are going to be at least 50% higher. So, in Arizona, let's just say your AC bill in the summer, it could be anywhere from $500 to $1,000 depending on the house. Add 50% to that. Here's the bad thing. Half the country is at risk of blackouts. Believe me when I tell you, you want to be the house that loses the power. The ones that don't, you may be staring down a power bill of thousands of dollars. We've learned that, right, in Texas and other places where the guy's like, wait, power didn't go out. It's not like I set the AC down to 40 degrees. It was set at 78 degrees. I got a $5,000 power bill.
I live in a house, Joe, where if you use too much water over the course of a year, the water company charges you so much cents per gallon for the entire year for breaching that level. So these people are getting like a $5,000 water bill when the next year hits. So I don't feel like power is going to go there too.
Yeah, well, let me just say this was an April number, so these numbers are going to be way higher. Miami was up 38%. Hawaii, 34%. Dallas, 28%. Minneapolis, 28%. Boston, 26%. Pennsylvania, 25%. New York, 20%. Baltimore, 20%. San Francisco, 16%. Riverside, 16%. I mean, these are huge. You know what I didn't hear? I didn't hear 8% anywhere in any of those numbers.
I think they'll have usage charges coming all over the country later this year, Joe. Or, hey, you want to use more? Well, we're just going to tip that scale a little higher for you, right? It's coming.
By the way, California Utilities said get ready to pay 25% more on top of the 20% more you're already paying. There you go. $10 Liberties, $1,075.